Well, welcome back to our channel. We're glad to have you. Uh, uh, if you like our content, what we're doing here, we'd appreciate it if you subscribe and give us a thumbs up. We're always welcome to have comments. It goes down below. Uh, so what we'd like to do today is continue in our study of Ecclesiastes. We're going to be in chapter 9, and we're just going to, again, hit the high points so that we won't take up all your time. Chapter 9, Ecclesiastes, verses 1 and 2. For all this I considered in my heart, even to declare all this, that the righteous and the wise and their works are in the hand of God. No man knows either love or hatred by all that is before them. Uh, he says that the righteous and the wise both are in the hand of God. And he also says their works, the things that they might accomplish, are in the hand of God. Um, and then he says, no man knows whether there's going to be love or hatred waiting in the future for him. Then he moves to verse 2. He says, all things come alike to all. There is one event to the righteous and to the wicked, to the good and to the clean, and to the unclean, to him that sacrifices and to him that doesn't sacrifice. As is the good, so is the sinner, and he that sweareth as he that fears an oath. So he says there's one event that occurs to the good people and to the wicked people. To the people that sacrifice and those that don't sacrifice, this one event is common to all, and we know what that event is. That's our final breath on this earth. All are going to be faced with that. So let's jump on down to verse 5 then. And again, we're just going to hit some highlights. He says, for the living know that they shall die, but the dead know not anything, neither have they any more a reward, for the memory of them is forgotten. Also their love and their hatred and their envy is now perished, neither have they any more a portion forever in anything that is done under the sun. So he says, the living know, they at least know that they're going to die, but the dead don't know anything. And again, this is Solomon, the preacher, giving us the view of life under the sun, or without recognizing there is a God and there is a hereafter. So if all we have in this old world is what we see and know, without the presence of God, basically the atheist viewpoint, that's the view he's given us. He says, the living know that they shall die, but the dead don't know anything. Neither have they any more reward. They can't ever earn anything else. They can't even accomplish anything else. He says, for the memory of them is forgotten. Not only, we return to the dust and we're forgotten forever. Then he says in verse 6, which is to me a profound verse in the scriptures, he says, also their love, and he's talking about those who pass away, their love and their hatred and their envy is now perished. Neither have they any more a portion forever in anything that is done under the sun. Once you've passed away, you have everything. All your love has passed away too. All your emotion is gone. All those things that were so deeply troubling to you, they're gone. All those things that you deeply loved, it's all gone. That hatred that you've carried with you your whole life for an individual or a certain this or that, it doesn't matter. When you're dead, it's all gone. It's gone. And you can't change it. You can't do anything about it. Verses 7 and through 9. Let's go. Go thy way, eat thy bread with joy, and drink thy wine with a merry heart, for God now accepts your works. Verse 8, let your garments be always white, and let your head lack no ointment. Live joyfully with the wife whom you have loved all the days of your life of thy vanity, which is given thee under the sun, all the days of your vanity, for that is thy portion in this life, and in thy labor which thou makest under the sun. Uh, verses 7 and 8 in particular, he's just saying to us to enjoy the things that God's given us, to enjoy uh, all the pleasures, eat the food he's given you, use all the pleasures that you can afford in this life. Enjoy them. Now, he's not telling you to uh, overconsume, but to enjoy life. Enjoy the blessings that God's given you. And sometimes we get worried with the curse, with all the struggles, the thorns and thistles that God has given us to go through, and we forget about all the pleasures that we have while we're going through them. In particular, in verse 9, he says, "Live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of the life of your vanity." So he says, the life of your vanity, this vain life that is meaningless and worthless, right? But he says to live joyful with your spouse all the days of your life. Live joyfully with her or him, if you're a lady. Uh, Even though it's still a vain life, but you're going through it together, it's so much better to live life with someone who you can share the struggles with, who can help you up and you can help up, and that you face the curse together. In verse 10, he says, "Whatsoever your hand finds to do, do it with your might. For there's no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest." Is do what you can while you're here. Work hard at it. He's not talking about being a workaholic, but he's talking about being diligent and working all the days of your life. Someday you're going to be dead, and there'll be no work you can do, especially if you're looking at it from under the sun. Let's look at verse 11. He says, "I returned and saw under the sun, the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to the man of understanding, nor yet favor to the man of skill, but time and chance has happened to us all." The race is not always to the fastest or to the strongest. Riches don't always come to the smartest person or the wisest person. Uh, I see so many people who are just a lot of the celebrities that we hero worship. When you listen to them just a little while, you go, they're about as smart as a coal bucket, and you go, how did they achieve so much in their lives? And then I say, well, they must be smarter than me, because look what they've accomplished. But at the same time, Scripture tells us that it's not always the smartest person that achieves the most. It's not always the fastest person that wins the race. It's not always the strong or the wise that accomplish the most, but that circumstances and chance happens to everyone. Uh, let's move now to verse 13, and we'll just finish up the chapter, verse 13 through 18 of Ecclesiastes chapter 9. "This wisdom have I seen under the sun, and it seemed great unto me. There was a little city, and few men within it. And there came a great king against it, and besieged it, and built great bulwarks against it. Now there was found in it a poor wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city, yet no man remembered that same poor man. Then I said, Wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard. The words of a wise man are heard and quiet more than the cry of him that ruleth among fools. Wisdom is better than weapons of war. One sinner destroys much good." So he tells a story about a small village that had very few people in it, and a king, powerful king, comes against the city and besieges it. But there was a very poor but a very wise man that lived in that city. And we don't think of poor and wise going together, but it does many times, and we just don't recognize it. He says there was a poor wise man that lived in that city, and he showed the people of the city how to overcome the king, and they won against the king and the mighty armies. And then he says, but then everyone forgot about the poor wise man who had helped them. And then in verse 17, he says, the words of wise man are heard in quiet, more than the cry of him that ruleth among fools. So, there are a whole lot of people that rule among fools who are fools. And there are a whole lot of people who are wise that don't rule at all. Verse 18, wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner can destroy much good. We live in a time where I'm afraid the fools are running it. And I don't mean that to be ugly, but some of the things that come out of our politicians in our country are just so totally insane to me that they would even think that those things would be good. And sometimes it feels like we're being run by fools. And then you see just common people seem to have much more sense and therefore wisdom in my mind. And again, I don't want to end this without saying all these things were things that we see under the sun, injustices, and the fact that all will someday pass away, and all this will be left behind. The only way that we can have true happiness and true fulfillment in this world is to know Jesus Christ and be comforted that there is another world coming. We're so grateful you've been with us today. Again, if you like these videos, hit the like button and subscribe.